Oh, hell yeah. Let's get popping, dude. Another random TikTok rad lib who says white people are racist or whatever, or is doing like some Ibram Kendi that people are going to misconstrue.
Just by being born white, you are somehow evil and you should spend your entire life atoning for your sins. Now, I went to their TikTok just to check if this was like a one-off video. Maybe they were really drunk one day, right? But apparently this is their entire personality, while simultaneously looking like a flaming hot Cheeto. So let's take a look. Sorry about the watermark. The original video was just deleted.
I'm feeling spicy, so here's my hot take of the day. All white people are racist.
Oh, it's from Libs of TikTok. He sources from Libs of TikTok. Nice. Bro, there is no planet in which you look at a person who's dressed like this and go, well, let me get some sound opinions that I can generalize about an entire group of people. They're already signaling to you that you're going to see some shit that you might not agree with. This person's going to grow up and they're probably going to have different perspectives or figure out a way to better communicate their ideas, because like their ideas are probably not like completely wrong, but it's just like insane to just do this kind of thing.
Every single last one of them, all of them are racist. And I don't mean that to say like every single individual white person, if I talk to you, you would have some kind of racist ideology. I'm saying that as a white person, you uphold a system of racism by literally just being white.
Ugh, I hate this take so much. It's so stupid. It's just like, ay. Stop saying based. Shut up. It's like biological essentialism, but woke, dude. You just like immediately uphold white supremacy by existing.
Spending your literal entire life dismantling racism, then you're contributing to its continuation.
So you're telling me that...
What? Oh my God, I was so right. Every single thing that she said is technically not incorrect, but delivered in the spiciest way that you can. The idea that you can either be racist or anti-racist and actively work against dismantling racist structures is correct, but there is an infinitely better way to like deliver this information rather than just being like, when you're existing as a white person in society, you're immediately defending and upholding white supremacy.
That just because somebody was born a certain race or a certain skin color, which is completely out of their control, by the way, they should...
You have to be an activist not to be racist? No, you don't have to be an activist. But like what that means is, one, learning and understanding racial dynamics and racial oppression and not turning a blind eye to it, checking your friends every now and then if they're like behaving out of pocket. That sort of thing is not being a activist, okay? I'm not saying go take it to the streets and fight for it. Just be normal. That's my take. Treat every single person like you would want to be treated. It's like a pretty basic perspective.
I believe if you're not spending your literal entire life dismantling racism...
Like, spend your literal entire life dismantling racism is insane. What the fuck is that? I hate this because, like, it's just straight up fucking rage bait.
Then you're contributing to its continuation.
So you're telling me that just because somebody was born a certain race or a certain skin color, which is completely out of their control, by the way, they should spend their entire life obsessing over race, kind of like you do, as if they've done something individually bad? Yeah, I think you're straight out the loony bin. I don't know what it is with the old colored hair and nose ring.
It sucks because it's like a bit hysterical. The energy is not in the incorrect place, but it's going to get picked apart. It's like designed to be picked apart by fucking dudes like this who will just be like, oh my God, I'm going to defend white people because this person is crazy. Okay, but no way is this dude making fun of someone else's looks. Yeah, I know. I didn't want to say anything, but that is pretty funny. Objectively speaking, while she does have like a unique sense of style, I would go so far as to say that she is at least upholding aesthetic principles infinitely better than this fucking guy. So I don't know where that's coming from. Like, that's an odd thing to fucking say. This is taking critical race theory and using it to such a degree that it just loses the plot. Yeah. I hate when people who are ostensibly on the right side of politics will turn around and fucking become the cartoonish depiction that the right presents the left as.
I don't know what it is with the old colored hair and nose ring. It's like a 9 out of 10 chance at this point. Like, I'm not even making up these statistics. Like, actually, there seems to be some bizarre correlation here. I'm really sorry if you're like a normal person who just wanted to dye your hair or like kind of look cool, maybe look like an anime character. It's kind of been ruined by these people. Also, spoiler, judging an entire race just by their skin color, an attribute they can't change anyways, is
It's not even a judgment. Like, this person is wrong because they're going overboard with their sentiment. They're going overboard. I don't get it. Does he not own a mirror? Like, what's happening? I don't understand why he's doing this. Let me tell you something. I shit on people's looks all the time, and it's really fucked up. It's probably one of my worst aspects. It's very shallow. It's very vain. It's very fucking shitty. I do it all the time. But at least I own a mirror. You know what I mean? Like, come on. I would not. If I was in his shoes, I wouldn't ever fucking talk about like appearances. You know what I mean? Because then it kind of brings the criticism back to you. And my dog, you are not looking too great in that combo.
Is, drum roll please, racist.
Racist.
And people get so like, whenever like I said.
Yeah, dude, if you talk about white supremacy in any way, which this person is doing in a way that is exaggerated, embellished, and will subject them to a fuckload of scrutiny. Is it deserved scrutiny? Not necessarily. This person is just young. They will 100% grow out of this and become, a little bit more normal with their attitude, with their takes. However, in the process, people are just going to fucking be insane and say, wow, it's racist that you're saying these things. When in fact, if the language that she chose to utilize in this circumstance was a little bit more understandable, maybe less people would yell at them. Except I do that all the time, and then people still yell at me and say I'm an anti-white racist, even though I am white myself. So that's odd, but let's continue.
Like, people are racist. Like, why is it such a big like, yes, you're racist. Like, okay, we've established that. Now, what are you going to do to change it?
Apparently, just be born another race, because it seems like that's your...
Come on, dude, being young is such a cop-out? No, it's not. If it's not a cop-out for fucking dumbass right-wingers who I also believe can change, why would it be a cop-out for the left? It's the same principle I hold. You could be a right-winger and have idiotic fucking takes and incredibly reactionary and then grow out of those politics. It's at the heart of everything I advocate for. And it's the same for rad libs who say crazy, unhinged shit.
I mean, imagine a white person saying all black people or all brown people are X bad quality. Wouldn't that be racist?
Racism refers to power and race. If you are the powerful race in a society, then you're racist. Like, I just don't understand why it's so taboo.
Ugh, it's so fucking cringe, dude. Whoever is on my screen, I just get so mad at. Ay, 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 ay. It is so... This entire thing is just such a fucking mess. I just don't... They're having a cringe off. Her foundation isn't wrong, but her messaging is terrible. Yeah, because she didn't do the fucking reading. I can't believe I'm saying this, but like, that's it. She doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. She learned everything off of TikTok, and now she's just like repeating. She's playing a game of telephone with concepts that she hasn't read about, really, or with concepts that she hasn't fully grasped. And she's understandably angry. Being black in America will do that to you. That's fine. But like, you're angry, and now you're just like fucking saying stuff that is, coming across unhinged and will be made a mockery of by weird fucking right-wingers and those who want to be on Team White.
Let's talk about it. Let's accept it so that we can work towards changing it. We're never going to get anywhere if people won't just acknowledge it in the first place.
Here's probably the biggest shocking fact that you will ever hear in your entire life. The world is actually bigger than America. I don't know where this absolute...
Wrong. Okay, this part I don't agree with. Wrong. That's not true. Let me tell you, I grew up in Turkey for 18 years of my life before I came to the United States of America, and you are wrong. When Vladimir Putin, who's supposed to be a representative of the multipolarity, is talking about J.K. Rowling, a British TERF, and cancel culture, that means the world is just America. America's cultural power transcends its borders. When you got even the other side of the multipolarity, like Hells Bolsonaro is pointing to here, celebrating African countries standing firm to protect traditional values from the Twitter app's Russian embassy in Kenya account, you got no multipolarity, you got no personal culture, you got no dog in the fight. Neoliberalism turns everything into one monoculture. That's it. It's American capitalist neoliberal hegemonic culture. Every aspect of global culture is neoliberal monoculture. It's being sold and repackaged. When you think about Iranian opposition, you're still literally talking about a culture now that is dominated by American culture, or rather, standing firmly against it. That's the point. Everything on the fucking planet right now is either whatever the neoliberal monoculture is, or standing firmly against it in the form of like promoting traditional values. You can't tell me that the world is not dominated by American culture and it's not just American culture without looking at the Taliban, who now has a PR team, as you guys were correctly pointing out in the chat, who are wearing skin-tight Oakleys and American tactical gear. 6 months ago, those motherfuckers had flip-flops on, living in a goddamn cave. Now they're talking about how they hate having a desk job. I had a friend in Slovakia complaining about woke people. Bro, people in Turkey talk about woke culture. It's like, bro, you got a whole different set of issues to worry about. What the fuck do you mean woke culture? The fuck do you know about woke culture, bro? You got Erdogan. What are you talking about?
You know what, just for argument's sake, let's just say no other place exists other than America, right? Because you clearly live in fantasy land over here. So you can argue that, okay, this white guy who's like this random billionaire will obviously be a million times more privileged than you. But what about Joe down the street? What about that white guy that works at McDonald's for minimum?
Oh, my Lord. Okay. This is a gross, perhaps deliberate, but maybe not in his case, deliberate misunderstanding of intersectionality. Class politics transcends racial dynamics. That's why I always say Oprah motherfucking Winfrey has infinitely more privilege than a random white homeless person, because Oprah Winfrey is a billionaire. Oprah Winfrey is a part of the owner class. She is bourgeois. She owns capital. When we talk about race, we're talking about members in the working class. If you want to use neoliberal verbiage for it, you can say middle class. Talking about middle class black Americans versus middle class white Americans. We're talking about working poor white Americans versus working poor black Americans. And in some circumstances, or in a lot of circumstances, statistically speaking, the black Americans are going to lead to worse educational opportunities and financial circumstances overall, because race is a factor in that moment. Race plays a role in that. The history of black people in this country plays a role in that.
Minimum wage, who can barely afford rent, his mom is dying of cancer or something, and he's barely getting by. Are you really gonna call him extremely...
Yeah, minorities can't be oppressed as white people work at McDonald's is a fucking incredible take.
Privileged and racist for existing? God damn, the Cheeto dust seems to really have gone to your head. She reminds me of like an opposite Sneeko. You know, completely opposite views, but equally loony, just in the opposite direction. Now,
yeah, except the difference is like Sneeko is a fucking white supremacist, and this person is just basically emotional person making an emotional argument about issues where the underlying principles are not completely incorrect. That's an insane assertion. God, I hate fucking people who just think they're centrist. I want to shake them.
Now, for some reason, they made another video clarifying that it's actually okay to be racist.
People think that being called a racist is synonymous with being called a bad person.
Probably because it is. That's like calling someone a serial killer and being like, don't get mad if you didn't actually kill any people. It's a horrible label to be associated with.
I never said that people are bad people because they're racist. I said they're racist. You very well can be a good person and be racist.
What kind of mental gymnastics is going on here? I mean, I guess, yeah, I guess you can be a good person and be racist in some extremely minute scenarios. Like, I don't know, I guess my grandma might probably be a little racist because, I don't know, lots of stereotypes or something, but she's lovely, obviously, so maybe you have a slight point there, but that doesn't apply to most people. Usually someone who's explicitly racist is probably a horrible person, and most people, like, I don't know, a boomer grandma.
Not understanding that calling someone racist is going to make them mad is anti-praxis. You won't be able to convince me she's just young on this issue. No, I mean, the reason why I'm saying she's young is because, like, she is, and because she's talking about touchy subjects that people hate hearing, especially because what she is talking about is true. Like, the underlying principles behind white supremacy and its impacts are not incorrect, but she's popping off in a way, especially when so many people are going to be uncharitable to her, she's popping off in a way that makes it super easy for people to yell at her. My perspective is this. If you understand that we live under a white supremacist system, which you should understand, you know that people are victim to that white supremacist racialized propaganda. So you should understand that when you're talking about that sort of thing, when you pop off in a way where you're like, I'm right all the time, my interlocutors are wrong all the time, and they're all racist, and you make even like a bio-essentialist argument, no one is going to take what you're saying seriously. And if as a matter of fact, they're going to weaponize that against you and belittle your point. Not only that, though, even if you actually describe your positions carefully, people are still going to Make sure that they bully you into submission. That's it. The moment that you start talking about this sort of stuff, even if you choose your words carefully, people are still going to be like, nah, dog, fuck you. They do that to me all the goddamn time. They're like, Hasan is so incredibly anti-white racist. Like, I obviously benefit from being white, so it makes it a little bit more laughable whenever people say shit like that. But regardless, like, I choose my words very deliberately and very carefully whenever I talk about this issue, and yet still I got motherfuckers chirping at me nonstop. I mean, in some respects, I think this is tone policing, but it's valid tone policing. Sometimes you gotta look at people who at least have, like, the right ideas, but are popping off in the wrong ways and say, hey, you know, I get that this is an emotional issue, but like there's a better way to conduct yourself. Because she's not a random person in this point. The moment that she puts this video out there and it goes viral, she's now a propagandist. It's supposed to be on the good side, I guess. She's not a good propagandist, she's a very bad one, but that's it.
A lot of good people who are racist, because these ideologies that are placed into you are exactly that, placed into you, conditioned into, because we live in a sick and sad society. So of course you're gonna have ideas that are sick and sad. People immediately hear racism, and since that contrasts with their idea of who they are in their head, which is a good person, they jump to defend it. There is nothing to defend.
They're allowed to pop off and not cater to the whole. I mean, you're not catering to anyone in that situation then. You're just yelling at an audience that you hope is a hug box. That's it.
Can be racist.
Yeah, I think some of the hair dye must have seeped into your brain cells over there. Maybe one of those nose rings got lodged into your prefrontal cortex or something. Now you're just talking crazy, okay? And I love how you've actually embraced the hot.
What did she say that was bad? This part of the conversation is not wrong. She's saying that good people are still conditioned by social norms to behave in the ways that they do, and it's not their fault for, you know, churning out racist shit. But if you recognize that we are a product of white supremacist systems, then you should also recognize that the best way to cut any kind of agitated propaganda in this regard would be not to be like, everyone's racist, you're racist. But like, actually, it's not that bad to be racist. You know what I mean?
Now you're just talking crazy. Okay, and I love how you've actually embraced the hot Cheeto look with that red outfit. I applaud the effort.
People are racist. Pretty much everyone is racist. Our curriculum, everything that we see, our media, it's all racist. So of course you're gonna have that in your head.
Okay, I can definitely agree that there's a lot of like hidden racism in society for sure. Like if you start looking into certain things, it does get a little bit sad.
Okay, so this dude is not like a total fucking goober, right? Thank God. Jesus Christ. I mean, it took him like 6 minutes and 47 seconds to recognize that. I hope that it's not just a way to like hit a hard butt.
Sad, but I don't think you have to hold a gun to the head of people who had nothing to do with the problem in the first place, and by virtue of them just existing in this world. I mean, imagine if you just randomly started hating Doritos, right? I think that would be pretty racist of you, being a Cheeto, right? So I think Doritos and Cheetos can live in harmony without actually stepping on each other's toes. And sure, some of us may have extra cheese, a little more cheese than the other, but it doesn't change the fact that we're all chips, you know? Some people prefer Doritos, some people prefer Cheetos. It doesn't make them racist.
It's literally just society conditioned really bad ideas into your head, and you're unaware that you're perpetuating them. It's not your fault that the ideas were placed into you, but it now is your burden to undo them. And that's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah, that's all you're saying. By the way, all white people.
Yeah, okay, this entire video was just like him recognizing that like what she's saying is not wrong. It's just the way that she's saying it, and then calling her a Cheeto head over and over again. Weird video overall. Wish you guys hadn't sent this to me. Yeah, I mean, it's odd because I do agree with that assessment. If we're gonna be super incredibly reductive, yes, I agree that ultimately she's not wrong about the systems and how it produces the attitudes that a lot of people have and internalize without even recognizing it, and also that her optics were not great in the circumstance, because the first video that she put out there that got clapped up by libs of TikTok, who is a pathetic pervert who literally looks for rage bait videos like this and blows it the fuck up, is going to weaponize things like that.
Are racist. That's clearly not all you're saying, okay? This condescending attitude, acting as if you're just superior to everyone and you gotta dumb it down to our level to explain to us.
Yeah, also she is nowhere near comparable to fucking Sneeko for that take.
So frustrating. If I had a suggestion, I'd say wipe off the Cheeto dust, maybe dye your hair black again. I hear that gets rid of the crazy. Click the
I mean, I don't think this dude is like super irredeemable. At least he like recognizes that like, there's value to what she was saying. But who knows? Maybe I'm completely wrong, and he'll turn around and say that I react to YouTube videos without being there or whatever the fuck, and say that I'm like, like a bad guy or something. I don't fucking know.